Welcome back. My name is Savannah and welcome to my knitting channel. It's kind of a knitting podcast, I guess, but Happy New Year. It's 2023. It is January 1st, 2023. It is time. I really wish I was starting the year with no whips, but that was not obtainable for me. But yeah, I talk predominantly about knitting. Occasionally there's some spinning in there. Sometimes other crafts, but really it's just mainly knitting. So yeah. The past 2 weeks I actually released 3 videos. They're pretty long videos, so I don't blame you if you don't watch them fully. You can always put me at a faster speed if you want. Sometimes I do that when I have a lot of videos I need to watch. I will speed up the video by 1.5, I think. I can't remember if it's 1.25 or 1.5, but I'll speed them up just so that I can get through them. But yeah, I have 3 videos. If you were unaware, I did a whip parade showing everything that I had on the needles or had as whips, at that current time. I have dropped down a few, which I'm so grateful for. I have a year in review, everything that I finished in 2022. There's one missing from that video, and that's because I finished it shortly after I filmed that video. So I will show that here in a few minutes. And then the last video I did was kind of a 2023 plans video, but I hate using the word plans because I know plans change, things can change. So maybe it's more like dream knitting for 2023, what I would like to, get finished. So yeah, there's that as well. I did not make a make 9 for 2023. I did update my queue on Ravelry, which all my social media links are in the description below this video if you are able to find that on a phone, tablet, computer. You cannot drop down on a TV. What else? What else do I want to say? So no make 9s. I have my queue is updated-ish. I think there's one more thing I need to put on it, but I could be wrong. I could have already done that. What else? I did make myself a new spreadsheet for this year. So I do track via a spreadsheet. I track everything I knit on every month. So whether it's 5 minutes I knit on something or several hours, I will mark that I knit on that specific day. Maybe I'll try to pop in like just an example of, last year for December, maybe I'll show you. I track everything that I've knit on. That way I know how many days it took me to actually knit the item. I like seeing that because sometimes things can feel like they take forever, and then in actuality they only take like 10 days, 15 days. So I like to do that, and then I do a kind of like a year tracker, like the whole year, like how long, so I do the day thing for the month, and then I do it in a year, and then I can kind of see how many. The year thing really isn't necessary. That does show me the total days if a project is carried over for several months, which does happen. So I guess that's what my year is for, my yearly tracker, to see the total days if it does take longer than necessary. And then I made a new tracker for this coming year, and this tracker is all about my stash, which is behind me. Most of it is behind me. I was watching Natalie of Knitty Natty's video. She recently put out a video about her stash. What do I want to call it? She decided she wanted to completely get rid of her stash in 2022. So it was kind of her, her whole year was trying to eliminate her stash. And so this video showed like her progress for each month, and she did like a little chart, and then she showed like a spreadsheet that she had to track you know, like how many skeins she was using each month, how many were coming in, how many were going out, how many she was donating / gifting, that kind of stuff. So she could, you know, keep track of all that. So I kind of went off of that spreadsheet that she showed and kind of did the same thing, but I added an extra thing, and I believe I did not add the gift / donation, but I probably will end up adding that column in at some point, because I'm sure that's going to happen. I'm going to be like, okay, I no longer need this skein of yarn. How about we just, you know, like sell it or something? So I'll probably have to add that in at some point. But my spreadsheet, I'm going to go ahead and pop it in. It'll be easier to show you. But I have, you know, the months. I'm going to have which ones, you know, I have a column that I believe is something about like what skeins I'm using or how many skeins I used in that month. And then I have yards / grams used, because there is another challenge on Instagram to use 2023 grams of yarn in 2023. And somebody did the math, and that is about 20 skeins plus a mini. So I'm sure that's more than doable for me, but I want to track it. I want to see how many per month, because I just need to see the numbers like that. So I have that. I don't know if I'll do yards, but definitely grams, because I can always weigh a finished piece. So there's that. You know, if I have any acquisitions come in, any new yarn I purchased, and then plus or minus, you know, take out, add in, and then the total. So I have already, my daughter and I have pulled every skein off of my shelf, minus the mini skeins and minus the, you can't see it's behind the Swift, but I have a basket of scraps. I did not count any of those. It definitely wasn't. And then I have bare yarn here to dye. I didn't count that as well, nor did I count, oh, I don't know if you can see it, this stuff on the wall. I didn't count that either, because that's technically Sewlivi dyes yarn. I probably won't be using it. I just need to get it listed on Etsy at some point. I really need to get on it. I did include my hand spun skeins, not the stuff that's not spun yet, but the things that I have finished. I have added that as well. So as you can see, I have 261 skeins of yarn. So yeah, 261. I am going to hopefully make that a smaller number come 2024. 2024. That's crazy. So yeah, that's a lot of me blabbering about all that. Let's go ahead and get into what I've been working on, which is a lot. I've touched every whip, I think, this past week. I know I did not film a regular podcast last week because it was Christmas, but I have touched everything this week. So I'll go ahead and show you what I've worked on. So my first thing is a finish. This is the finish that got finished after my year in review video. I just got it done. This is the knotted cowl, or twisted cowl, sorry. Twisted cowl by Knititude. So I started this in 2020 and put it away, and I wouldn't say I forgot about it. I just did not want to work on it. Knitting a tube, a long tube, because it is just a tube, forever. You know, having to do a long, like I think it was like 30 or 32 inches you had to knit. I don't like knitting just a plain stockinette tube. Don't enjoy it. So I didn't want to work on it, even though this is a bulky weight yarn and you knit it on, I think, a US 10. It just did not seem to go as fast as I had wanted it to. But when I was doing my whip parade, I pulled it out and I decided that I was going to keep it out, put it back on the needles, and get it finished. And while I was editing that video, I did get quite a bit done on it. Not fully. I think it took me another 3 or 4 days to actually get it finished. But yeah, so it's just one big tube that you knit, cast on one end, cast off on the other, and then you sandwich the let's see here. It's not going to be the easiest thing to show you. But you sandwich them together kind of like this. You have all right, so here's your ends, right? Pretend this is an end and this is an end. You're going to fold them in half and then sandwich them like this. And then you just sew them shut. And then once you turn it in right side out, you have yourself a twisted cowl. So see, I think the length that was recommended in the pattern might have been a little too, I don't know. It just doesn't feel as snug as it probably should, but maybe it's just fine, especially if I put it under a jacket and jacket's gonna, it'll be nice and cozy. I look silly. That's okay. So this yarn that I used was from Joann's, and again, I purchased it in like 2020. It was called the brand was the Hook Nook, and it was their Yummy base, and this is the Dusty Rose color. I don't think they sell it anymore. I haven't seen it since, but it's really pretty color. This light pink with the brown and black tweed. I like it. So yep, I got that finished, all done. I believe this is, I know it's not 100% acrylic, but it's got a very high content of acrylic. So, but yes, that's finished. The second finished thing is a spinning thing. I finished this skein of yarn yesterday. It's still just a slightly damp from its little bath, but this is, I'll just go ahead and twist it up because it looks prettier that way. This is called Stockings Full by Nest Fibers. I bought this last year, I think last December, either last November or December, and it's been sitting in my stash all year, and December is when I decided to go ahead and spin it up. It is Superwash Merino, which is really, really nice to spin, to be honest. It's so nice to spin up. Super easy to spin. But yeah, it's all these beautiful, it's teal, green, pink, and orangey yellow, like golden yellow. And yeah, really, really pretty. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to hide my face so it'll focus on this. But yeah, I finished this up yesterday. I haven't even weighed it or anything. I did get a fingering weight. This is probably the thinnest I've ever spun. So I'm pretty sure I have over 400 yards here. What I'm going to use this for? No clue. I really always get the idea that any of my handspun would probably look best in a colorwork piece. But then I'm like, well, which colorwork piece? Like anything with a colorwork yoke or something. But I don't know. It's very lovely. Stockings full. So yep, I need to get this weighed. I probably won't do anything other than that. And then get it up on my handspun wall and figure out what the heck I'm going to do with it. So pretty though. Okay. Whips. We'll go with, I guess, maybe my least touched to my most touched one. Maybe we can do it that way. Least touched, this one. So I did try to work on this week. This is, okay, my kid's playing with his toys on the floor. So this is my Game of Thrones mittens by Knitting Lotta. This pattern was gifted along with the yarn last year. And I already have one of them finished. It's an all over colorwork mitten. I know I talk about this, you've probably seen it before, but here's the Targaryen sigil, and then on the palm it says fire and blood. Well, it says fire and then the first part of blood. The other mitten will have an ampersand and the rest of the word blood on it. So I've wanted to get these finished before the end of the year. That didn't happen, obviously, but I decided to pick it up yesterday and maybe try to get back into it to get it finished because it's just this one glove. It shouldn't be that bad, right? I think I did 3 or 4 rounds. Well, maybe a little bit more than that. And I just was not feeling it. I just wasn't. So this is knit on a US one with very light fingering yarn. I'll go ahead and show you the labels real quick. This is the burgundy colorway, and this one is the gray, which is called iron. So it's very, you know, lightweight, kind of like a sock, but all over color work. And I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I didn't want to do it. So after a couple of rounds, I said, you know what? I'm not feeling it. I'm just not going to. It kind of sucks that I already have the first one done. So it's not like I can just go ahead and rip this out and not do it. I got one done. So what I think I might do is just put it on waste yarn so I have the needles free, and come back to it when I'm definitely feeling more optimistic about it. So yeah, that kind of sucked. I hate feeling like that about whips. I really do. So I did touch that one, but it was only for a little bit. Next one I worked on was the Lost Wood Shawl by, oh my gosh. I know first name is Chantel. Oh no, Justine Chanel. This pattern was for Forbidden Fiber Co., so it's not currently available yet, but I do keep checking. I decided to try to get the Fisherman's Rib section finished, and I did. Let's see here. Okay, yeah. So I got that finished. This is where I was, right here. And then I got started on the next section, which is just a bunch of stockinette and purl stitches, knit and purl stitches to make triangles. So I just got a few rows into that and decided to put it back down because I needed to work on other things, or I had something happening. But yeah, I wanted to get past the Fisherman's Rib section. So there's the reverse side. So yeah. All the yarn is from Forbidden Fiber Co. We have Link and Zelda, and these are the Forbidden Fiber Co.'s Gluttony Sock Minis. And then we have these 3, which are the Forbidden Fiber, that's the wrong label. They're the Forbidden Fiber Co. Genesis, Superwash Merino. It's just 100% Merino. We have these 3 colors, which are Sidekick, Anti-Hero, and Subplot. Sidekick, yes. I don't remember which is which, to be honest, but those are the 3, well, the 5 colors that'll go in the shawl. This one won't go in until closer to the end, so that's why it's still in its skein form. Okay, and this is, what is this one knit on? A US 6. This is a 4mm needle. It's really nice to work on. It's gonna get longer and longer eventually. So I'm just taking my time on that one. Next one that I worked on was, I have what I'm calling my winter solstice socks. Just a pair of vanilla socks that I'm knitting up. So this is still the first sock. I'm just taking it slow. So I got the leg done. I did a fish lips kiss heel, and I started on the foot. I do kind of wish that I would have gone up a needle size. So I'm working a US 1, 2.25mm. I wish I would have gone up to a 2.5mm needle. Just because I know that my very first pair of socks, I used a US 1.5 needle to knit with this yarn, which is Patton's Croy. This Patton's Croy sock, I used this yarn, a different color, but used this yarn, and while the socks are slightly wider, like looser. They're my most favorite socks to wear. So I do love this yarn. Again, Patton's Croy. So I'm worried that this is going to be a little too tight because I do wash my socks in the wash machine and then hang them to dry. I'm afraid it will tighten up with a couple of washes, but I'm not going to rip it back out and start again. So this colorway is the Rose Brown Marl, and then the cuff and the heel and then the toe as well is in the Flax colorway. I don't know how well my lighting is. Hopefully it's not too bad. So yeah, the Flax matches with the matches very well. It's almost the same color as this first stripe. But yeah, so this is the yarn in the cake form, or I guess the little bullet form. It's stripes by itself. This stuff is so nice. It's a rustic yarn, but you can buy it in big box stores like Joann's and Michael's. And it is, where is it? 75% wool, 25% nylon. So there's no superwash, at least not on the label. It's really nice yarn, really comfy socks. So yeah, I got a little bit done on that one. Next one that I worked on, so I put my half and half triangle wrap by Pro Soho in a project bag, finally. So it's no longer in my purse. It was getting too big for my purse. So am I in the middle of a row? Of course, always, always, always. This thing is just massive. You wouldn't even be able to see it. I wouldn't be able to stretch it out on this needle anyway. But so when I did my whip review, I ended up moving my stitch marker up, and so I've done that much since then. So I've been still trying to take this with me places. I've been working a little bit on it while I sit down on the couch instead of, you know, just being a to-go project. I have actually been working on this thing. So tracking wise, I've been working on this thing for like 60 plus days in 2022. Because it was just a travel piece. So, you know, it would get a 20-30 minutes here, 20 minutes there. Especially when I was waiting to pick up my kids from school. That's usually when this would get worked on. So that is the most amount of days that I've worked on any project I've ever worked on. So that's a little crazy, but I don't understand how people knit these things up so fast. I know Inga of Knitting Traditions has made 2 and she's knit them up real fast, but she does knit quickly. But then Stacy of Stress Knits has made like 6 of these half and half triangles wrap. I'm not even to my second color yet. Like, I don't understand how they knit these things up so quickly. It is all garter stitch. I'm knitting mine on a US 3. Maybe I should have done a US 4. I just did what the pattern called for, but like, I am super slow at this thing. We're getting there. I don't know, this, all right, I don't know if you can see. So yeah, the back layer. I have this much more to go to decrease before I can even switch to the second color, but yeah. So I'm using, what is this? I'm using Pro Soho's Linen Quill, which is 50% fine Highland wool, 35% alpaca, and 15% linen. And I'm using, so this color right here is Peach Stone. It's like a mauve color, mauve pink. And then my second color will be Oatmeal Gray. So I've put 2, well, this is the second skein of the Peach Stone that I've put in, and then I have one more skein, so I'm not sure if I'll have, see, I don't know if I'll end up, I probably won't use a lot of the third skein, but yeah, that's what's going on there. I'm still trying real hard, still taking it with me places to knit on. We have to drive up to the airport today to pick up my father-in-law, so I'll bring this. That doesn't mean I'll actually work on it, but I should make an effort, right? Yes, I should make an effort. Okay, my next, this one I haven't worked on a lot lately, but I have put in progress since the last time I showed it, and not including the whip parade. So, because I did not move the progress keeper since. So, but this is the Folly skirt by Espostrico. It is a free pattern, all over worsted weight color work skirt. I still do love it. The rows are getting longer and longer and longer, so seriously, I haven't timed myself yet, but the other night I picked this up and I think I had about an hour and a half, and I got 1.5 rows done. Rounds, whatever you want to call it. So it is definitely taking more and more time now. So the last time I showed it in a podcast, I was way up here. So in this motif, I have since finished the second chart on the pattern, which was just this motif. And this one, I'm trying really hard to show you. This motif. And then this is chart number 3, the beginning of it right here. So there's about, I think there's 2 motifs, 2.5 motifs in chart 3. And then it's just, I think, one big main chart or motif in the last chart. There's only 4 charts to this pattern. So these first 4 was chart 1. And again, these are 2 were chart 2. This is the beginning of chart 3, which is a big floral, I don't know if you can tell. Yeah, I have I'm halfway through this motif, just about. So it's a big floral motif. And then I forget what was next. Again, it's a free pattern. I am using, I'm just going to pull one out with it. Oops. I have 3 skeins attached to the skirt right now, so it's a little crazy. I am using Knit Picks Wool of the Andes worsted weight, so it's 100% Peruvian Highland wool. It's super nice, super warm. This is going to be so cozy because it's so thick with all the floats inside. But yeah, there's 10 different colors in here. So yeah, slowly just working on this just because of, you know, the rows are getting longer and longer. I still do love it, and I still plan to have this finished before the cold months are over. I just need to get on it a little more. Honestly, it's because of the next project I'm going to show you. I'm trying to get that one just done, out of the way. Once that's done, I can get back to this a little bit more full time and not stress so much. Okay, last whip. Again, this is the one that is taking up the most of my attention, my knitting time. Granted, I have been spinning quite a bit, a lot more because I wanted to get that done. But this is Cosmos by Lisa Renner. This is a knit that I'm doing as a shop sample for my local yarn store. I started this in like March, April, and it is just, I did not work on it most of the year because I just did not like it. I had made a mistake, had to rip the whole thing out from the sleeve split up. So I pretty much put it in timeout, but I'm trying to get it finished so that I can take it over to them, because they are on the opposite side of town from me. But yeah, here it is. So last time I showed you, I was here and I was saying in my, I believe in my, either in the video, in my last podcast, or it was the whip review, that I wanted to get the body finished before the end of the year. I managed to do that and get a sleeve finished. I actually finished this sleeve last night, right before midnight. So I got one sleeve finished. Now I just need to pick up and go ahead and knit the other one. This sleeve definitely took me a couple of days. It was really annoying, I'll be honest, just because I felt like it should have gone a lot faster, but it did in retrospect to the body, but it just felt like it took forever. So hopefully this sleeve will go quicker. I don't know, we'll see. I just hate the fact that I have to go back into the color work again, but it didn't feel so bad on the smaller because it went quicker. I did go up a needle size on the sleeve. So the body is knit on a US 4, and I decided to go to a US 5 for the sleeve. Just because I know me, I am a tighter knitter when it comes to sleeves. So hopefully it won't look too different once blocked, like gauge wise. But yeah. Got that. Just gotta get that last sleeve done, weave in all the ends, give it a very careful blocking or wash and then block it to get it to not look so funny, and then take it over to the yarn store. I've been avoiding the yarn store just because I don't want to go empty-handed. I had won a gift card earlier, like a lot earlier in the year, I believe. And I have not claimed it yet because I didn't want to show up empty-handed. I don't know if they even want this still, to be honest, but I still want to be able to bring it to them. I want to do that. And so I don't want to claim my gift card until this is finished. So yeah. Oh, the yarn for that is all Malabrigo. Malabrigo sock. All the colors are listed on the Ravelry, but Malabrigo sock. Not my favorite yarn to work with, I'll be honest. Definitely not for color work, I should say. I don't know why. I mean, I saw this pattern, I really wanted to knit it, and then when I was given the opportunity to pick yarn from the shop and do a sample knit with it, I didn't think very well about my yarn choice. The actual, the main, or the pattern, oh, what am I trying to say? The designer, the yarn that she used for hers was actually Madeline Tosh yarn. So I don't think it's that, Madeline Tosh is not that different from Malabrigo in yarn content, I think. Let me double check, let me see. She used Madeline Tosh, or Tosh Merino Light. Okay, so that's pretty much the same as Malabrigo sock. It's not a good yarn to choose for color work. I mean, I've been knitting a little bit longer now, doing a few more color work things. You definitely want a toothier yarn for color work, so definitely no superwash. So yeah, doing the color work in this was very, it's not enjoyable because the yarn is so slippery. It doesn't want to, it doesn't, I don't know, it just doesn't work. Don't use a superwash for color work. So anyways, those are all my whips. Those are all my whips. Okay, so for Christmas, I did not get anything knitting related. Which is fine. I do enjoy my husband going out and definitely trying to pick things for me, which is fine. He's usually really good too. So this year he purchased some like kitchen stuff, like storage. I needed, I got a new pots and pans kit earlier in the year, and it didn't dawn on me until after I started using it a bit that, it was kind of lacking. It only had one saucepan, and I definitely need to, most of the time when I cook, I need to. So he purchased another one that matched the set, which was great. He got me some, you know, those OXO locking canisters for storing food in. He bought me some of those because he knew I liked them. What else? He got me some Pyrex glass Tupperware dishes with lids. And then he took my kids with him a couple days prior to Christmas, being all funny and sneaky. Took the kids to go help pick out some more gifts for me, and they got me some Packer gear. So Green Bay Packers is my football team because I grew up in Wisconsin / Minnesota. So I like the Packers. So they got me a hat. So my husband has one of those. He has a beanie hat, but it's for his favorite team, the Iowa Hawkeyes, which it's a college team, but it's a really fancy hat, really nice, warm, and I really wanted one, but a Green Bay Packer one. So he picked me up one of those. It's like fleece lined. It's super nice. I believe I wore it in my last video, my plans video. He got me a giant fleece Green Bay Packers blanket, which is really nice. And then my kids picked out a beverage cozy that said Green Bay Packers on it. So yeah, that was really nice, but no knitting, and that's okay. I was fine with that because I knew that my parents like to send a little money for Christmas, and so I was like, okay, I know what I'm going to buy with this money. I went ahead and bought myself one of those Centro knitting machines. I've been wanting one for several years now, and so I decided that this year would be the year that I purchased it. It's not that expensive. It's like $60 on Amazon. So I went ahead and ordered that. That should be here this coming week. I'm excited. So it's like my sock knitting machine, which you can't see. Yeah, it'd be over there. You can't see it, but on a larger scale. So it makes hats or panels. So I do have a few ideas with that. And then I went ahead and purchased some bare yarn that I wanted, which is out of reach. Okay, so I've been really wanting to buy some Surrey yarn, and usually Wool to Die For would let you buy like a sample skein, but for some reason it always says it's out of stock, yet they have a whole bunch in the 10 skein packs. So I'm just like, can't you just break a pack open and sell those as sample skeins? But it's like they don't or something, so I had to wait until I had some money to buy the 10 pack skein, or the 10 skein pack, which is fine by me. But I wanted the Surrey alpaca. I don't want to take it out or else I'm going to have a mess. So this is 74% baby Surrey alpaca, 26% mulberry silk, 328 yards to 50 gram skeins. So I definitely wanted that for projects in the future, since a lot of things on my, like, not necessarily all of them, but a lot of the ones that I want to knit this year require you to hold like mohair with another yarn, right? Pretty typical. But I know I've been hearing a lot lately about how mohair, it's not very, I mean, it's good, it's soft, it's beautiful. I don't hate it, but it's not good at regulating your heat. You wear mohair, you're going to be hot. I have I've actually only knit 2 sweaters with mohair held with something else. 3, take it back, 3. And I've never really noticed me overheating with it because I do run cold, so I'm totally fine with it. But I heard that Surrey alpaca is really the better option for if you want to regulate your heat. Like, say you run warm, you might want to use Surrey alpaca instead, because it'll help you, you know, stay cool but also warm without overheating. I do think it's softer than mohair. But yeah, so I wanted to get it because I do have some projects that call for mohair, but I'll just substitute it for Surrey alpaca. I do have some mohair though that I could always use, but yeah. And then I decided to throw in a pack of DK, Highland DK. This is 100% Peruvian wool, 246 yards, 100 gram skeins. There's 10 skeins in here. A lot of the projects I want to knit this year are DK weight or worsted weight. I had thought about buying a bag of worsted weight as well, but I actually have a full 10 pack of worsted weight yarn right here. But that's superwash merino. It's not gonna kill me to use it, but I would have preferred a non-superwash. But yeah, I do have a 10-pack of worsted weight here that I can use if needed, because I really, most of my stash is fingering weight yarn. I do not have any sweaters quantity of anything higher than fingering weight, so I'm just like, I need to step it up, because obviously a lot of the things I want to knit are thicker yarns. So decided to get this. And I figured, you know, I know how to dye yarn. I have all the supplies to dye yarn. Just dye my own instead of spending the absorbent amount of money for not even just hand dyed, but just like regular yarn, other than like, I guess, knit picks. But still quite a bit. Anyways, so yes, it is 10:30 now. I need to do some other things before we get ready to go pick up my father-in-law. So I do appreciate you again stopping by and watching my video. As you can see, I've done a new intro and outro for my videos. I figured maybe each year, I will change it up just a little bit to keep it exciting. I do think I have to change the music though. I'm going to use it in this video, as you already know. I'm going to use it in this video and see, because I used it in my last video, the 2023 plans video, and I got a copyright claim for it. So I'm going to see if I get that again, because it was only for the last half of the song, not in the beginning of the video. It was just for the end of the video, which is weird. So I'm going to try it again, see if it happens. And if I do, I'm probably going to have to figure out a different song. I do like that one though. It's more upbeat. Gets you excited. So yeah, that's just what I'm dealing with. But I do appreciate you stopping by. Go ahead and like and comment, subscribe, whatever you would like to do. And I will see you next week. Bye.